Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Today's video, we're going to be going over the cold and dark to ready for takeoff procedure for the Airbus A330. This is the default AnyBuilds A330 that comes with the game. Similar to our previous video with the A320 and the A321. Everything is relatively the same. There's a few small changes in how the aircraft operates. So, once you finish your walk-arounds and your checks and everything, let's go ahead, hop on in the aircraft. So, just as before, everything's all dark. There's no power to nothing. So, first thing we want to do is we want to come up here, make sure we have correct voltage. We do. Similar to the Airbus A320, you'll notice we have two batteries here. However, we do have an extra battery for the APU. So we want to make sure, turn these on first. That gives you basic power to the aircraft. And then your two externals. There's two on the A330 instead of the one on the A320 family. And just like before, we are going to set our ADIRs to begin the alignment process. Set your emergency exit lights to arm, make sure your no smoking and seatbelt signs are set, and then navigation lights on. Next thing we want to do is we want to go through, we want to make sure that fuel is, all the pumps are off, which they are. We want to go through, see, this is for your oxygen crew supply, make sure that's off, which it is. The packs for your air, though those are going to stay off momentarily until it's time to go. You'll notice a fault in the generators here, which we will get to clearing in a second. APU master, wait 3 seconds, then turn on the APU start. And just as before, down with the other Airbus aircraft, you'll see it start coming to life. While it does that, let's just go through, let's make sure that everything else is awake, everything else is set. Looking good, looking good. So while that wakes up, let's come over here to our tablet. If you haven't put in your flight already on your EFD, just make sure you do so. So in this example, we will be going from Detroit Metro Airport to Denver International. We will be using, let's put it on runway 22 left. Find your route. Make sure everything looks okay there. We will use runway 8. This is just this, not actually going to do this flight. We're just for demonstration purposes. So now, I'm going to send to your avionics. Put that aside for now. Now we're going to prepare the aircraft for our takeoff procedures. So if you haven't done it already, have the lights, on your jetway. This will open up your door. Payload. So again, just like the previous one, we're just going to use the default what we have here. So if we zoom in a little bit, we can see our live gross weight is 159,276 kilograms. One thing you're going to notice when going from payload to start calculating your takeoff, make sure you press your sync. The one thing you're going to notice is the weight here is in tons and not kilograms. So the one thing you want to do is when you read off this weight here, whatever your live gross weight is, so 159,276, you want to make sure you translate that over to tons. So rather, if you know what already, if you use your phone, you type in your 159,276 kilograms, which when put in will come out to 175.57 tons. So we'll figure all that out here. And then that number is again 175.5. You could choose which flap configuration you would like. We would just use the standard flaps here. Air conditioning is on, we don't need anti-ice. Calculate. So now we see our V1 is 154, rotation speed is 151, V2 is 152. Alright, now that we have that, we know what our altimeter is. It's 1026 HPA. Let's come over here. We're going to make sure we set this 3 times. 1026. And you'll notice we have a warning for the altimeter discrepancy. That's okay, because once we go over to the first officer's side, punch it in, it goes away. Alright, by this time, you see our APU is ready, so we can put on bleed, then we can disconnect the external power. So now the aircraft is running basically off the APU. Now coming down here to the MCDU, zoom in a little bit. Just as before with the A320, we're going to go through, we're going to begin inserting everything. So again, we have our V1, VR, and V2, so 144, 151, and 152, so 144, 151, and 152. Now we're going to be using flaps 1, which is right here. Go through. This you don't really need to worry about unless you really want to get into the nitty gritty. That's completely okay. Make sure you have your route, Detroit to Denver, flight number. Just put in 334. Get your cost index. Next. Make sure click the right arrow. Put in your block fuel. Everything else will kind of update itself. See there. Then on the flight plan, just as we did before in the A320 departure. So we're using 2 to the left. Make sure you scroll till you find 2 to the left. Then we want to confirm that the transition and the SID is correct. So we got COB 3 to ZEGB. So here we have COB 3 to ZEGB. So a little bit. Insert. That's going to update. We just kind of want to go through. Everything looks okay so far. Now we do have a discontinuity. We will look at that here in a minute. Right here. Got Denver arrival. Check since we got ILS 1.8, none, and none, because it is a direct quick insert. Now to go through and double check everything again. Remember, the up button is the way to move everything down. And it looks like we are okay. Now that your flight plan is plugged in, you're pretty much ready to go. So, with that being said, let's come over here, the ground, let's put your jetway, make sure that gets handled. Right there, it's moving back to its position. Just give it a second, let it clear, do its thing. Now, if you were using something like GSX, obviously you would wait for all your passengers to be boarded, seated, everything's all set to go. But in this situation, we do not have any of that stuff enabled right now, so we are just going based off what the settings are. So now that that's all good, go ahead, go down here, get this out of the way. Turn off your parking brake and request pushback. So now the laptop is going to go over here. I'm going to give you start the pushback sequence. So now we will come up here to overhead. We will turn on the fuel pumps, 6 of them, 3 for each side. We're here to ignition start. You notice our thing here has changed. And now we wait for pushback to be complete. Alrighty, pushback is complete. Set parking brake again. This is where we commence our engine start. We'll start with number 2. Good the start sequence, which is great. Alright, engine 2 is at avail, so let's go ahead and start number 1. And while that happens, let's go ahead and turn on our flight directors. Let's make sure our altitudes are set, so it looks like our first is going to be 7,000, so we will set it to 7,000. Our flight director's not on that side. Go to nav mode on our map here. Speed is going to be managed. Heading track is going to be managed, and then when we get up into the air, this will switch to managed. Make sure autopilots are disengaged. Auto throttle is off right now. While the engine 1 starts up, we will put flaps 1. Engine 1 avail. Excellent. So put the engine start to normal. We can see all of our other things. So flight control test, pull back, neutral, pull forward, neutral, full left, neutral, full right, neutral, rudder left, neutral, rudder right, neutral. There's your flight check for your controls. You are ready for taxi. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this information somewhat useful. This is just for our beginners, simmers, who are unsure of stepping from the A320 to the A330. As we've just gone over, everything is pretty much the same. There's just a couple extra buttons and the difference in the takeoff configuration. That's about it. Other than that, the plane setup is pretty much the same. It's a little bit more intuitive with the takeoff and just how it flies because it's a much larger aircraft. But make sure to leave a like, comment on the video what you want to see next. We might do the AnyBuilds A330 and eventually might do the fly-by-wire A380. I also have a video coming out here soon that's going to be going over the type of computer you would need to enjoy Flight Simulator. It doesn't need to be expensive. There's your hint. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can hit that notification bell so you get notified for whenever these tutorials and some of these other videos go live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.